Here's just a couple baits, guys, that I was kind of mentioning the fish getting out and out from the spawning areas. What I like to go to usually typically after that is worms. I'm a big worm guy. I know a lot of you guys are jig guys, and I could get into jigs here in a minute, but here at Fitz's we just got some new colors in the Magnum Trick worm. Magnum Trick Candy Bug right here. I tell you what, this is going to end up being one of my favorite baits this year. I promise you that, for post-spawn fishing on a shaky head. You just can't beat it. And another good worm that's always been really good to me is a red shad worm made by Zoom. It's a 10-inch worm, and honestly, I don't know why the red and the black work so well, but for me, this is one of my favorite worms to Texas rig and throw in a brush pile with a 3/8 ounce sinker or a 1/2 ounce sinker. When they're in the brush, this red shad worm, it just does the job. So these two kind of baits, shaky head, Texas rig, these two colors, these two brands, you just can't go wrong with. So these are two baits that are going to be real hot and heavy in my boat here in the next coming weeks. Okay guys, one more thing here. If you're flipping around some of these shallow docks and some of these spawning areas, because like I mentioned, you know, there's a lot of fish that are still in the shallows. One of my favorite things to flip is just beaver. Here I got two of my favorite colors. I really like the hematoma, the black and blue. I think even in clear water, no matter what, this is just a dang good bait for me. I've caught a lot of fish on it. Especially in a little bit more, I mean, I guess a little bit more low lighting setting or a real shady dock. But when that sun gets out, I've learned to really come to like this dirty Sanchez. As you can see, one side of it is chartreuse and one side is green pumpkin. And I think when that sun gets really high and you know, it's really bright outside, I really think this dirty Sanchez here has a time and a place. It is a great beaver. And of course, I like to flip both of them on Wayne's jig head. Now Croco Gator makes it. It's the Gator Lock jig head. You just clip one of those baby on and just go to flipping around those boat docks, and you can never go wrong with a beaver flipping boat docks. I don't care who you are, and they skip really good. So when you're getting to flipping and all that stuff around the boat docks, make sure you try the beavers, try the hematomas, try the dirty Sanchez on the sunny days, and let's hear some feedback on it. Also, don't overlook a brush hog. A brush hog is also a really good bait to flip around the boat docks, but if you want something more small and compact and settle, go with the beaver, guys. Hey BassingBob members, it's Rob here for your weekly report for May the 19th, I believe it is. May 19th?
Yeah.
Right now the fish are still kind of in the transition mode. We got the fish that are coming off the beds. We got some fish still on the beds. So it's kind of still that whole spawn deal. A lot of guys can still catch their fish shallow, or you can start looking out a little deeper. Now I've heard reports of, you know, secondary points, and some of those channel banks leading out to the secondary points have been good. But we also still have quite a bit of fish that are lingering around them shallows. The males that are guarding fry. Some females still haven't even done it yet. We got a full moon coming up this weekend. So the spawn transition is still happening, guys. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on your shallows. But definitely where the fish are going will most likely be deeper and in your brush. So right now, some of the better baits to be using are your Carolina rig lizards, Carolina rig brush hog. You could also flip a beaver, flip a jig around the docks in the back in the spawning areas. Keep an eye out for a good spook bite, topwater bite. That should be coming on pretty strong here in the next coming days, if not already. I'm actually just getting back from Grand Lake, so I haven't done a whole lot of fishing on the Lake of the Ozarks this past week, but I kind of still got a sense of what's going on with them. I'll tell you what, I'd really key in on those areas leading out to the deeper water. If I were fishing tomorrow, I would start probably on a secondary point somewhere coming out of a spawning area, and I would work my way out deeper before I would go in shallow. Now, some guys might fish it differently, but that's what I'd be doing. I would be probably targeting areas with a shaky head, with a Magnum Trick worm. Also, I love fishing brush piles. I know a lot of these fish like to come out of the spawn and go to the brush piles. I'd like to be fishing some of my brush piles in about 10 to 15 foot with a Texas rig worm, you know, red shad, tequila sunrise, something like that. But that's kind of what's going on with the fish, guys. That's kind of what I get a sense for what's going on with the fish. They're starting to run a little bit of water too. We got a lot of rain that came in. I don't know how long they're going to keep that up, so definitely keep an eye out on your main lake points and your secondary points. I can't tell you how important that is, but don't overlook the spawn, because the spawn, a lot of it I want to say is done. Everybody has their own opinion, but I really think there's still yet some fish to be caught very shallow. So keep an eye on that, and man, you could really fish a lot of different ways right now. So whatever suits you the best as a fisherman, whatever you think your strength is, go try that out and see if it works. I mean, you could catch them deep, shallow, middle, big rock, pea gravel. You know, it all kind of fluctuates right now. You could really do a lot of different things. Another powerful bait here in the coming days will be a deep diving crankbait. Deep diving crankbaits will come in pretty hard, and same kind of areas, guys, the secondaries and main lake points. That's where you'll find me camped out here in the next couple of weeks, so definitely keep an eye on that. But still, I think the most powerful bait you could be throwing is a Carolina rig something. So I appreciate your time, guys, and that's my weekly report for this week on Lake of the Ozarks.